Hey everybody, today I am going to be reviewing One Battle After Another. This was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. I try to go to the movies without having a lot of background information or too much anticipation for a project if I can help it. Obviously that becomes difficult when you're somebody like me, and especially when it's a Paul Thomas Anderson film, just because, I consider him to be one of the great American living directors, and, I don't think it's a controversy for me to say that. I'd say many cinephiles praise his work. Quite simply, he has set an incredible standard, and even when his movies are maybe a little bit spotty for me or where they don't always feel cohesive, whole as an experience, the filmmaking itself is so intricate and so rooted kind of in like the postmodern form, and yet it has such dimension within the present. I'll just cut right to the chase and say that I think he has done it again. I think this is an extraordinary piece of work, and it's a movie that I didn't expect from somebody like PTA, so that's also something that's intriguing about it. It is a visceral, percussive, tightly choreographed thrill ride that captures your attention from frame one to the very end. It's a melange of all kinds of different moods and genres, everything from like screwball comedy to like more satirical dark comedy. There's flirting with absurdism for sure. It's got drama, and most importantly, maybe the action thriller. It's as if PTA has constructed this beautiful tapestry that speaks to these violent, kind of guttural, dark cries of human confliction, but through our current experience in modern America, but with this spirited sense of liberation. On the poster, the image of Teyana Taylor with that machine gun while she's pregnant at the same time. Even before you see the film, it's such a loaded image and a breathtaking one. To me, that's one of the most emotionally charged images in the entire film, quite literally because it is connected to a beating heart. And I would say this movie it's not just a movie about radicalized politics. It's more like it takes place within a world of radicalized politics and, all the human behavior that exists within that world due to it. America is this big experiment, this melting pot, and there are a lot of burdens and pains and complexities that come along with it. And I think it's the human perspective within that this movie captures quite beautifully. I think this movie is a look at our past and all of the demons that we have accumulated over time. It's about our responsibilities, the things we need to take accountability for the future, however bleak or optimistic you choose to look at it. There is incredible flow to this film, how you can take all of these different moving pieces and make them seem all like a singular piece is incredible. And honestly, this movie, it reminds me of a piece of music, an experimental piece of music written by Jonny Greenwood. It's used in the film There Will Be Blood. It's called Convergence. It's this percussive piece that is, to me, it's a study in controlled chaos. And it feels as if while you're listening to it, it's like you're going to have a panic attack, but it slowly settles into this rhythm. This movie has the ability to seamlessly move from act to act. Every scene builds on the next one. The tension never deflates. And there is just something satisfying, especially these days, about watching a movie that is able to transcend its own mechanics. There's this virtuosic ease to the movie where I just feel like I can sit back and relax and just take it in. I'm not worrying constantly about the fabric puckering. A lot of times when I watch movies, especially this year, it's like I'm sitting down at a nice restaurant eating like a nice piece of fish or something, but there's all these little bones in it. This one is smooth. I'm sure a lot of people are going to compare this film to Ari Aster's Eddington, which came out earlier this year. That is also meant to be like this portrait of modern America. But that one, in my opinion, even though I do like it and I consider it to be one of the better films of the year, I think it is still maybe a little bit too caught up in the technical execution instead of finding that thematic harmony within the world. There's a bigger disconnect, I think, between the political symbolism and the characters themselves. And while I don't think that in One Battle After Another, it always clicks in place perfectly, I think it's far more accomplished and it has a stronger self-awareness in those areas. And the acting, of course, in this movie is incredible across the board from every single person. Leonardo DiCaprio, as you know, I struggle with him as performer. He has never been my favorite actor, but to me, his extroverted style of acting where he's like throwing himself around physically and all of that, to me, it works the best when he is playing somebody who is completely out of their element, deer in the headlights. When his seriousness and his over-the-top emotion becomes the butt of the joke, that is when it works the best. And I think this is a fantastic performance from him because it embodies all those things. It embodies the comedy and the drama. People like PTA and obviously Quentin Tarantino with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, they understand, I think, what his strengths are a lot more than somebody like Martin Scorsese. That's just my opinion. I love the daughter in this movie as well, played by Chase Infinity, and she is a young woman that I think perfectly embodies that femininity, the independence, bravery, and the purity. It's like where you can sense the strength inside always, but there's just this composure and grace on the surface. Sean Penn in the film is maybe where I started to struggle with the comedy a little bit. It's not a bad performance at all. I mean, obviously he's a great actor and he understands like the function of the character quite well. Tonally, the way it was performed just didn't land with me, and it felt disconnected from the other characters who are also very over the top as well, but somehow they feel a lot more naturalistic. This felt more like a character out of, I don't know, Burn After Reading. If I want to nitpick on this movie, sure, there are some bolder points that I think get a little bit lost in the chaos of the film. I don't think this film is on the level of a movie like There Will Be Blood. I don't know what could be, or even a movie like Phantom Thread. But this is one of PTA's better films in a while for me, and I think one of his more technically compelling since Magnolia. I'm not the biggest fan of Magnolia. I reviewed it several years ago, but I do admire the filmmaking in that a lot. It's like they took the midsection of Magnolia and expanded on it in a new way. And again, that's fantastic. You have to see this movie. If you are a film lover, if you are a PTA fan, whatever, this is a full price without question. I think it is the best film of the year so far. And that is my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to plug my website as always. It is deepfocuslens.com. I'm an artist. I do commission portraits, and I also sell prints of my work. If that is something that you're interested in, you can always go to the website below. And if you have a question about a commission or a print, you can always email me. My email is in the description box below as well. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons who are great. Guys, thank you so much for your support. Welcome to all the new members. If you are interested in supporting, the link for that is below, as well as the rest of my social media information. You can watch more videos here, and you can subscribe if you'd like. Catch you next time.